Wait, swipe down to stop. All right, let's see if I can put this like somewhere in a decent light here. Hold up. I don't think I could. Can. Yo, what's up, B-Pack? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I don't think I can put this at like a decent angle. I think I'm gonna have to like lean this. Let me see. See if I can lean this somewhere. Hey, what's good, Fly? What's good? What's good? What's good? Hold on. I don't think I can lean this. Oh, hold up. Oh, shoot, there we go. We got it. We got it. What's good, everybody? What's good? Just literally got back to the hotel. Just got out of EA Play and literally got back to the hotel. So let me know what questions y'all got. I even got like my notebook of questions that I took to Rex and everything like that. He answered like all the questions I had, and even some got answered from me playing the game and stuff like that. So whatever questions y'all got, please let me know. Put it in the chat. I'm gonna try to answer them as best as possible, and even get my thoughts on like how I think the meta is gonna be. Give me all the questions you had and answers. All right, hold on one second. Let me take my notebook out because I had like a like 20 or 30 questions. How do the corners play? Is there still routes that seem to beat everything? I think the corners play a lot better, honestly. A-Dub in the building. What's good? What's good, man? The corner, so in my experience, like the corners played a lot smarter. So like routes like C routes or even putting them at hard flats, they actually go and get the ball. I think this year, route combo, it depends on the route combo. I think crossing routes are not going to be nearly as good this year. I don't think so. Because I tried a couple of them and they seem really slow, or at least a little bit slowed down. So I don't think crossing routes and all that stuff, like deep crossers and stuff like that, aren't going to be nearly as effective. But again, that depends on formations and like what your defense comes out and stuff like that. But the corners play a lot better. The corners play a lot better. And again, mind you, this isn't like even like the final build that I played. This was, I don't know if it was like alpha or beta or whatever you want to call it, the EA Play build or whatever. So they still got a lot of time to like fix, you know, small issues and bugs and stuff like that. So, but so far, like I said, very impressed. So, Fly, I don't know if you can see this or not, but like literally like probably what, three pages of questions. Some were from GGM, Good Game Movement, and then like the questions that I just showed you, they were like my own personal questions and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go down the list, and if I hit on a question that y'all might have, then cool. If I don't, if y'all got questions, like I said, put them in the chat. Squat, trap, flat, failing to match number 2 out cuts. I didn't really, I'm trying to think, did I use any saw squats? I think maybe like for one play I used the saw squats, but that kind of got quickly, that play got over with quickly because my opponent I think he ended up throwing the ball away, so I didn't really get a chance to like pay attention to like what the saw squad did in that play. Do big decks feel different? I think so, yeah. I think you notice a weight difference. So for me, I was using the Falcons one game. I think the first game I played, I used the Falcons, and you can like the run game is smooth. Like Devontae Freeman like was making cuts and getting loose on folks. Like that man is dangerous. I'm telling you, like speed halfbacks and elusive halfbacks that have a lot of agility are going to be, and if you have really good stick skill, they're going to be a terror on defenses. Yeah, speed backs are going to be relevant for sure. Double juking is not like what it's going to be in Madden, I think, what, 16 or 15? It's not like that level, but you can still pull off like a mean double juke if you time it right. Didn't really get a chance to test the spin out at all, unfortunately. The regular juke moves is still the same as what we have now, which is kind of unfortunate. I kind of wish it was kind of like how I wish the regular juke was how it was in 15-25, where you can actually make a good cut. But I think the move nowadays is going to be if you hold both triggers, which is like your steerable, I think it's called. That might work a lot better than the regular jukes and stuff like that. Like I said, if I miss a question, I think because the chat disappears like after like a second or two. So if I miss a question, like retype it or something like that, or rephrase it so that way I can catch it. But I'm going down the list right here. All these questions are that. Like I said, it says my questions for Rex. What's up, Tanner? How did I like the passing game? I actually liked it a lot, to be honest. It's not. I'll put it like this. You had to, when they mentioned the words, was it like target passing and stuff like that, you had to be extremely careful. So, in 17 in pass matches, you could pass lead a certain direction to keep the wide receiver going or the halfback going. It's tougher. So, for instance, for me, I was in a gun double set. I think I ran to play like a halfback angle route to Freeman. So, normally, when the halfback does an angle route, going to the left, you can pass lead to the left and rat catch it and, still turn up the field. However, Matt Ryan, when I passed it to like all the way to the left, he ended up throwing it so far left, it ended up getting intercepted by a defender and stuff like that. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, this shit is serious. So you got to be really, really careful. You're going to have to lab. Like, honestly, I'll put it like this. The good players, they're going to lab the hell out of target pass. Like, just simple, how much do I pass lead? How much do I put, like, bullet pass, touch pass, all that stuff. You got to be, that's going to take some lab with it. But I would say this, and I was having a conversation with the Underground Madden. What's it called? He said the most, actually, no, it wasn't Underground. It was another group of players I was talking to. One of them was saying the best players are going to master not only target passing, but playmaker, for real. So think about those two things, target passing and playmaker. I think somebody said like something about can you retype that question that just popped up about like competitive play and stuff like that? I missed it because it disappeared. I don't like the way this thing does this, where it literally disappears. I don't know why the chat disappears. I don't like that. Hold on. No, you can't do anything. Is it true ball hawk is gone? Yeah. Yep. You cannot hold the Y button or triangle button no more. You cannot do that. That's not going to work. You have to time it. Also, another thing that's going to be gone. Hold on. Was it hard covering the field with the linebacker? So that was actually something I tried. It's a lot slower. No, he will not get called. Speed, like they took warp tackling out. So if you're fast, you're gone. Going back to your linebacker question, it's a lot. I felt a little bit more sluggish covering, and I think weight matters a lot more this year. At least to me, that's what it seemed like. So, like I tried, how normally in 17 you could literally turbo and zip across the field, like no matter who you have because your linebacker's that fast, unless he's like 70 or 65 speed. This year it's a lot more slow because now instead of being able to just zip everywhere and turn directions like on a dime, now your player like takes like a little bit of steps and then turns. So it's not going to be as simple as you can't like cover 3 routes anymore. I think honestly you had to like pick it. Basically you had to pick your poison here. Like what are you going to cover? Are you going to cover the deep crosser? Are you going to cover the shallow crosser? Are you going to cover the other crosser going across the field and stuff like that? So it's not going to be nearly at least for me. I don't know about other players, but it's a lot hard covering. You say you use the Falcons there, middle linebackers like 225. He should feel different than yeah, he did. I think I used was it Deion Jones and like I can't remember who the other Falcons guy is. I used both of them. One felt a little bit faster than the other one. I think because of that weight, or like I said, their ratings. No changes to kicking from what I noticed. The only change I noticed is that on the kicking meter now, it actually has a little line that tells you this is 100%. Like this is the 100% line. And obviously, if you go over, you're gonna kick it a little bit further. But then it's the same as what we have now. That if you go above that line and you come back down and you miss the little black box that you have, you're gonna miss the kick. I played users. So I played only got a chance to play 2 games. So I did one yesterday and one today. Yeah, purples are a lot better. And what the interesting thing is about zones is that you'll have these little markers that actually tell you who you're supposed to cover. So, for instance, if you're in like a three wide receiver hook or third wide receiver hook or a vertical hook, stuff like that, they'll actually tell you. They actually have a marker saying what receiver you're supposed to be at on the Madden franchise. That's tough to say. That's tough to say right now. I would say because, again, this wasn't the final build. But so far, do I feel like it's the best? Yes. Yeah, I feel like it was the best. And like I said, comparing it to past Mads that I played so far, again, keywords. So far, it's the best. So far, again, not final build. I don't know if you're still in alpha, beta, whatever. So did the AI help when it came to someone running the same play? Unfortunately, I did not run into somebody that ran the same play over and over again. But the AI is smarter now, or a little bit smarter now. So for instance, linebackers and corners are in a hard flat. They actually jump that now. The only thing is I didn't get a chance to see, or I didn't know what button the coaching adjustments were. So I don't know what button it was, but I know for sure, like from talking to other people, if you set your coaching adjustments to where like people are playing, your defenders, like your linebackers and your defense in general is playing aggressive, they'll actually go for the pick a lot more. Swerve's dead. Nobody really tried swerving on me, but just by the way they're moving, swerve is not gonna be a thing. I played it on Xbox. To fly for your question, I think it might be. I think scrambling is a little bit better because one of the guys I played, he tried to scramble out with Cam Newton a lot of times, and Cam, yeah, Playbooks look different. But going back, Cam, you can definitely tell like you're gonna have to definitely spy and quarterback contain on these fast quarterbacks. Once you select competitive, arcade, or sim mode, can you switch? I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I think once you're set, you're set. No. So running to me, it's basically like this. Can zone defenders play press versus play action? I think so. I want to say I think so. I don't know for sure. Going back to your question, is it choppy? No. I didn't see anybody cheese blitz. Nobody really cheese blitzed it. What's it called? It's basically like this. If your player is fast enough and has the agility, you'll notice the difference between sluggish players, for sure. Am I going back tomorrow? Yeah, I'm gonna go for like a couple of hours and then I have to catch my flight back. Game is feels a little bit slower, but in a good way. Any penalties? Not really. I haven't tried the spin move. If you do the steer juke move, it's a lot better. Didn't really try. I tried the normal juke move and it felt the same. Maybe because I think it was Taylor Gabriel who doesn't really have the best juke move, and like I said, it felt the same as Madden 17. But again, back to the point about player movement. If it's felt sluggish and choppy, no. If you're fast, you're fast. Like I said, Devontae Freeman, I was doing some runs with him, and he was just making cuts. Like this guy was going left and right, felt so smooth. Oh yeah, way better. Yeah, there were a couple of drop picks, but they were because my guys did not have the ratings. They were like low overall players. So competitive sim or arcade. So competitive is basically, okay, let's actually start with sim. Sim is basically the ratings matter. So think about this year's game and how it plays online. That's sim, where randomness happens, fluke happens. You know, your quarterbacks will overthrow like a wide open receiver from time to time. The way that Rex had put it was competitive is basically if you have Tom Brady and he has a clean pocket and he has the ratings, he should be able to make that pass, or he should be able to make that pass like 99% of the time. Like he should not overthrow anything. Same thing with receivers. If your receiver, like a Julio Jones, is wide open on like a slant, in competitive settings, he should not drop it unless it's in traffic. Unless, again, it's in traffic or double cover, triple cover, stuff like that. Which, by the way, if you throw in triple coverage, because I played on competitive mode twice, if you throw in traffic, you're getting picked off. Like, literally, they will pick it off. Like, I've seen a couple of times where the ball will pop up in the air, and instead of what they do in 17, which is just like running around in circles and like they don't know where the ball is, they actually pick it off. And I've seen it in man coverage. Somebody, one of my opponents decided to do a deep cross across the field. I forgot who made the play, but he literally came right in, sped up, and like picked it off clean, and that was like a pick six. I missed some questions because I was looking away from the screen, and like I said, unfortunately, this thing like makes the chat disappear instead of stay on. But one of the coaching adjustments too, you can do best on best, but so like your best corner could be on your best wide receiver. No, C routes aren't overpowered. Nope. Oh, just cornerbacks and stuff like that. Or corner routes. I don't say white quarterbacks. Corner routes and all that. No. Halfback wheel. Split close, or what do you mean? Do they go goofy around when there's a fumble and no one can pick it up, even though your guy I seen the fumbles seemed a little bit better. Recovery system. PA wide receiver in his back. Nobody tried that. Oh, that play I didn't try. Tight slots. I think as long as you got the ratings for man coverage and you got the speed to do it as well, I think you should be fine this year. Frostbite looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. There's a lot more animations that I haven't seen before that happen. So Frostbite looks absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Juke moves like 16 or 17. Again, the regular juke move seems like 17. The double juke that everybody likes is not back. It's not back. They're not bringing it back. Bracket, I didn't see it. There are a couple new formations from what I've heard, but I didn't really get to experiment with them. The biggest flaws I noticed depends on what you call fly. There's a little bit more end zone celebrations. The biggest flaws that I noticed. Biggest flaws. One thing I noticed was that I was kind of, how do I want to put this? What's the word here? Let me get back to you on that. I'm trying to figure out how to word that one. But it's not nothing major. The one biggest thing is like still like the option play being like when you run triple option and stuff like that, the quarterback still has like the choppy steps. Instead of like if you're gonna keep it, if you're running the triple option, right, and so you know how you have the pitch man and the guy you could the halfback that you can to get the ball off and stuff like that. If the defense decides to stand up and attack your quarterback, they still have the choppy steps with the quarterback. So like for instance, if let's say you don't hand it off to if they go after the first halfback, right? And your quarterback is running like he's about to pitch it, but he doesn't pitch it because the defense takes the pitch guy. He still has the choppy steps. They haven't implemented to where it's like a full-out sprint. Like so, for instance, if you had a Cam Newton, he's still going to run the choppy step. You can't just hit the sprint button and he takes off in a full-out sprint. That's the biggest flaw I've noticed. But other than that, I didn't really. Most of the flaws kind of got covered up from 17. No. Field goal blocks, didn't see, nobody really got a field goal block off of me. No, so like I said, warp tackles and all the stuff that we're used to, that's gone. When you're gone, you are gone. Unless, like I said, there's a defender that takes a really good angle when you're running up the field, you're gone. I haven't tried fake field goals. I did a couple of times, Beast, and they actually played pretty well. So I think cover 3 match might be a move. But hey, real quick, before y'all ask any more questions, let me go down my list. So like I said, if I hit on something real quick, I can answer a lot more questions. So the first question I had for Rex was the improvements on like option plays, so like triple options, speed options. He said he was going to look into that, the choppy stuff and everything like that. So I'm gonna DM him later on about it to remind him to look into it. Second question, what are improvements are in zone coverage? So again, this is something that I've noticed when I played. Again, they seem a lot more aggressive. They seem to get to their spot a little bit better. Hard flats definitely play a little bit more hard flat than in 17 for sure. Purple routes do a pretty good job. Nobody really ran to me like trying to do like corner strikes and stuff like that. So I think there's definitely some improvements in zone coverage for sure. Third question, will the defensive AI be better against compacted sets like bunch, snugs, and tight? I think bunch, like the compacted sets are going to be a little bit harder to run this year than what we're used to. Like for instance, in the Saints book, that Saints spot play, I think that has like a C route inside of it, that got changed, so that's gone. I think that turned into like a corner route, not a C route, but like a corner route. So that's gone. Like that same spot play that's all glitchy all the time, that's gone. That play doesn't work no more. Fourth question, improvements in downfield blocking, targeting, pulling from offensive line and downfield blocking from wide receivers. Yes. I ended up running like I think a couple of counters and a couple of misdirection plays. And offensive line blocked it nicely. I was surprised because normally I'm so used to 17 where they miss or they swerve or they veer out to some other guy in no man's land that you had to overcompensate. They actually blocked it nice. Like nobody like completely missed the block. Nobody, if it was basically like if they see a defender, they're blocking, at least putting hands on them. Those don't work nearly as well. DB fire, nickel blitz too, and I think it's because of ID to Mike. Defense is tougher. Yeah, it's actually good blocking. Good blocking. I was impressed. And like I said, I had like the Falcons offensive line, so they did a pretty solid job. Makeshift screens. I actually asked Clint about this one, and you can actually do makeshift. He says he personally hated it, but they are back. So if you do a makeshift screen, like say for instance, I'm in I form close, and I decide, I think it's one like a drag play or drag wheel or something like that. If you decide to, say for instance, let's say I'm on the left hash, if you put a fullback, I think I don't know if he does a wheel route on the left side, but if you put him on a wheel route and then, for instance, say you put like your halfback on a swing to the left and then you decide to drag like the receiver on the right to the left side, and you toss to your halfback, they actually do go out and block and stuff like that. So I think makeshift screens are definitely back this year. Clint, like I said, Clint said he hated it. He hated that shit, but he says they're back. Hot routes on halfback screens when you call them. Suction attacking is not a thing, by the way. No. Nope. Hot routes on screens. So that means that when you come out on like halfback slip screen, can you audible? No. Unfortunately, you cannot do that. Which, like I said, I was kind of hoping that it'd be something, but no. I asked Rex about in the future creating like a route running tier system. So, for instance, the example I used was that, say a guy like Antonio Brown can run like in routes, out routes, seat routes, any kind of route perfectly because he has the ratings, versus like a Darius Harry-Bay who can barely run routes and barely has awareness. I asked Rex if that was something that they can implement in the future, and he said that's a pretty good idea, and to keep it kind of short, something that they're gonna probably look at in the future. 95 speed, I don't think no. I asked Rex about that too. So I used a +6 example. With a wide receiver on a streak that doesn't get pressed or anything like that, gets matched against like a 90 speed corner, would they get caught? And Rex said no, they should not be getting caught at all. So like I said, when you're gone, you're gone. Like there's no like warp tackle coming from behind, shoestring tackle, stuff like that. So a guy with 85 speed is gonna get caught by a 90. Yeah. Like I said, again, what you got to realize too is not only are we talking about speed, but you also got to pay attention to the angle you're coming in from. Any exciting news, programs, events, and Ultimate Team? Just the MUT squads. I've asked Patrick Belonga about other things about MUT, but they didn't really talk too much about it. I use the middle linebacker. No, Rex ain't spitting the BS. No. Rex was straight up and honest. Ain't no BS. Ain't no BS. I'm gonna tell. And like I said, this is coming from like a guy that first was really skeptical about Madden 18, but no, Rex was generally upfront, real, 100% real. There was no fluff, no nothing. Hey, believe what you want to believe, man. I'm telling you, the one coming in my Periscope. I'm giving you the information, dog, from the developers themselves and from what I played, yo. No, I feel like like I said before, Don, you gotta pick your poison. You gotta pick your poison. You can't. There's no. I don't think if you do, then whenever you decide to turn and try to catch up, you're not. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, 2 months definitely. Let me keep going with the questions. Let me go with the questions. Improvements in man coverage. Yeah, I know there was some definitely improvements in man coverage. To me, shading I didn't try. I should have tried it. I didn't think about it during when I was playing, but I should have tried it. Good question. I might try it if I get a chance to play tomorrow, depending on how long the line stuff like that. I'm gonna try shading out for sure. I asked if pistol runs have a faster handoff, so being able to hand off to the back and everything like that, it definitely seems like it. I think True Boy was saying like from bunch tight end, the handoffs were a lot faster for like strong powers and counters. Yeah, so the left stick once you rack catch, you can break that angle that they come in. I didn't know. I don't know that one, Beast. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't call too much cover one. Yeah, definitely different. Pat, definitely different. Let me keep going before y'all ask more questions. Hold on, because I might hit on some questions that y'all might have real quick. Number 9 on the list. Variety of play. Are we going to see more variety in playbooks and schemes and plays in Madden 18? Yes. There are some new plays. New formations, there are new plays. Some playbooks have changed. And some playbooks have plays added to them that might be, depending on what type of plays, that might be glitchy. So I want to try more of them tomorrow, but there are some new plays. Jumbo's dead. T-Raw confirmed that. Yo, Jumbo's finito, yo. It's finito. Because they took routes out. So for instance, that gun bunch weak Z spot route taken out. It's a different route on that left side. That deep post that you see the wide receiver run on that route, that's gone. That's gone. Like I said, the same spot from gun tight offset, tight end, that C route that happens, the inner C route, gone. So some routes got taken out. But again, like I said, it's a different game. What else? The speed halfback. So I asked about this particular route. So in 4 verticals, I think it was like a post or a curl. I can't remember. I didn't try the Titans book, unfortunately. So in 4 verticals, that halfback route that he goes up and then gets a speed burst out, I asked if that was going to get fixed or nerfed. And Rex said, yeah, they're going to be looking at that. So anything that causes a warp, a speed burst, or anything like that type of thing, that's going to get fixed. So if you're used to running that 4 verse and hitting the halfback every single time because he gets that speed burst, you might want to change that. Custom audibles in MUTs. They could not give me any information right now, but they have something in the works. That's all I can say. They have something in the works for custom audibles in MUT. That's coming from Rex. That's coming from Clint. That's coming from Patrick Belanca. So 3 people who said the exact same thing to me. So stay tuned. We might have something coming up for audibles in MUT. I asked if there are going to be updates to practice mode, and I don't think there are going to be this year. I don't think. So far, from what I've noticed, I don't think there's going to be any updates to practice mode. And if there is, it might be something like later on during the year, but I don't think there's any updates. The crowd. Okay, so this is kind of like one of the biggest things too that I wish I could have, because we had like let me that was my dad calling. I'll call him back. What was I about to say? I forgot what I was about to say here. My dad kind of like threw me That threw me all off. Oh, practice mode. Yeah, I don't think that's coming. I don't think there's any updates from what Rex was telling me. They didn't really look into that. Oh, practice mode and MUT. So, from what I was told by Patrick Balanca, he said that they know for sure that that's going to be that's like one of the most requested things that we as a community have asked for. So I don't know if they're coming out. Oh, the crowd. I'll get to that, but they know we want it. I don't know if they're gonna. I forgot if they're gonna come out with something for it. I don't remember if they say yes or no, but they know. They know. They hear the feedback all the time, and they actually want it in the game themselves. So the crowd thing. Unfortunately for me, because there was like the way the Madden booth was set up, there was like a DJ that was kind of like right across the booth, and it was hard to really hear between the DJ going on and the game audio itself. So can't really tell you about the crowd. Playbooks. Oh man, y'all asking my type of questions. I only got to try 2, unfortunately. I think I tried the Lions book and I tried the Falcons book out. I think, and a couple other people have told me like what their favorites so far are going to be. I think True Boy hit it on the head. Green Bay, he said was one of his favorites. I've heard a lot of people say the Saints are going to be glitchy. Cincy, the Bengals might have some tricks up their sleeve. Somebody was saying, I think T-Raw was saying like Seattle. Oh, look realistic. I guess so. I really wasn't paying attention to the crowd, to be honest with you, man. I was paying attention more about the game than the crowd. Cincy was another one. Seattle, I heard it was going to be good. What else did they say? Did I say Cleveland? I think, if I did say Cleveland, then yeah, the Browns book. But honestly, though, I'll tell you about the meta, where I think the meta is going to go after these questions. Adida Mike is interesting, for sure. Shut down who abused halfback screens. It should be. I mean, to me, it was easier to do it in 17. Soundtrack, I didn't really get to hear any soundtrack. I didn't really pay attention to anything soundtrack. I don't even know if they have the soundtrack uploaded in 18. Let me keep going. Sorry, I got probably a few more questions here, and then like I said, I'm gonna tell you all what I think the meta is gonna be upcoming here. I asked about ball physics this year. So, for instance, if y'all remember in the beginning of the year in 17, how when you threw in double coverage and stuff like that, they would drop it. So Rex said that the ball fade, like for instance, like the rat glitch and stuff like that, that got fixed. So if the wide receiver actually has hands on it now, and it actually tucks it in, he's not going to drop it anymore, or shouldn't drop it as much as he used to. The ball faces are still going to kind of occur in catch and traffic situations, though. So I think we get a little bit better ball physics, but again, I didn't really notice it too much. And when I played, pass heavy defenses being able to stop the run, like Dollar, no, and no. So keywords. Yeah, there was a couple of drop picks, but that's because they were lower overall players. Yeah, I'm going to get some more play tomorrow. No, I didn't see any card art or MUT or anything like that. So, the key, next year, from what I've been told, and from what I've experienced and seen, dollar, quarters, dime, those don't stop the run. If they do stop the run, it's because of a backside pursuit that's like a stupid fast corner that's coming in and making the play and everything. But even then, smaller DBs that are fast aren't tackling nearly as well. Yeah, Nickel got oh man, yeah, Nickel. So the key thing is that you're gonna want 2 tight ends, or run either 2 tight end sets, or if you're going to run I-form, have a fullback. And that shuts down, literally runs over Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I don't know if I can, like, I can't stomp my feet, but I'm stomping my feet. You have those sets, they're going to literally obliterate dollar. Sometimes they get pancakes, sometimes. So again, tight ends, fullbacks. That's going to be your key to stop destroying dollar. Understand formations get a boost in plays and blocking. Yes, there are some formations that I've heard and have seen that have extra plays in them, that have better plays. Blocking, again, overall blocking, pass protection, running blocking, and stuff like that is a lot better. Juke system improvements, again, speedy, halfback, elusive backs are going to be able to juke a lot better. It's not going to be like in the Madden 25 days or Madden 16 days, but you're going to be able to do some work with them. Yeah, you're going to have to match personnel. So far, you're going to have to match personnel for sure. Variety in defensive playbooks. There are a couple new play calls, a couple new plays. Some books seem the same from last year for defensive side, but again, that might change at launch. Yeah, I know they're probably still working. I think A-Dub might still be working on them. Oh, shoot, I didn't ask about that. I got to ask Rex about that tomorrow. I'll ask about that. So this is something I'm going to DM Rex tonight, and I actually asked about this, and he told me that he actually liked the idea. So personnel that get subbed in, there's a couple more different blitzes and coverages, and that's all I can say about that. This point right here, personnel that get subbed in. So for instance, if you have, let's say you're running a gun, what's a good one? Gun doubles, which has one tight end, 3 wide receivers, and a running back. You know how sometimes because players like to do is, if you want extra blocking and stuff like that, they will sub in a tight end where like a wide receiver should go. For some reason, Madden doesn't recognize the extra tight end that comes in. So it will still show you that they have 3 receivers on the field instead of 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers and a halfback. So I asked Rex if there was something that can get looked at and possibly fixed over that way. Madden recognizes that you have better personnel to match it on defense. And he told me he was like, I like that idea. DM me tonight. I'm gonna look at it. So, boom. I didn't see what whoever just typed that. I literally, the thing just disappeared. So just run it back. Run that back. I asked about MUT leaderboards working the same as online head-to-head leaderboards. So for instance, and if you play online regs, you get to see your rank at all times. And in MUT, you had to hit a certain threshold. So I asked if that can get changed. Is challenging plays more legit? There wasn't really anything I could challenge. Out of 10 so far, what you've seen and known, as in, rated as in, how am I rating this? Is it, gameplay, fantastic, or we talking about, what we talking about here? Give me a direction here, and I can probably give you a better answer. I asked about this for just a little side thing from MUT. Actually, when you pull up a uniform pack or uniform card, actually showing the whole entire uniform, instead of just the top or stuff like that. When you throw the ball short to a receiver on a streak, do I have to manually turn around? That goes back to the target passing league. You got to be careful. So if you throw it short, and they're playing a cover 2 man that's trailing, you're gonna probably get picked off. If 17 gameplay is rated a 4, what would 18 be so far? I would give it about a solid 8.5, 9. I think there's a couple of still things that work out, but I would give it an 8.5, 9 so far from what I played. It was pretty legit, pretty solid. Custom uniforms and MUT, not going to see that. Not going to see it. And that revolves around legal issues and licensing with the NFL. So unfortunately, we won't be seeing custom uniforms anytime soon. That was something I really wanted in MUT this year or this upcoming year, and Patrick Belanca said that's something that they would like to do, but again, going back to the NFL and their licensing and legal issues, that wasn't going to happen. EA tracks on Spotify. So if you guys don't recognize this, I don't know. There's nobody trying to nano blitz me. Can't give you an answer on So you guys don't recognize there's if you go on Spotify and look at like the past historical tracks and stuff like that, I asked if that could be in Madden. Rex said they tried to get that on they actually tried to implement that, but unfortunately they said between getting music industries and stuff like that to agree on, like, basically it's a lot of issues that happened because of it, but they wanted to do that. And like I said, unfortunately, that was something they couldn't do. Oh, I did a mic. I think it was interesting. I think it's very interesting. It's gonna be something that you're gonna definitely tell between who's gonna be the great players and not so great because they use that feature and being able to pass protect and slide protect that way. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, that was it. Because the last question is better fumble recovery system. I noticed it was better. So, yeah, let me tell y'all real quick, real quick thoughts on where I see Madden 18 going. I put it like this. I have no new information on promos. They didn't say anything about that. I'll put it like this and check this out, right? Everything. If you're playing on competitive sets, meaning online, like MUT, head-to-head salary cap, draft champions, I think head-to-head online regs and stuff like that. If you're playing online, competitive, you are going to see, from what I've played, there is going to be a skill gap. I feel like there's going to be a skill because, warp tackle is not in the game anymore. Ball hawk is gone. So you have to literally time everything. You cannot just sit there and hold the Y, the triangle button and stuff like that. So if a player is a bum, he is going to be a bum this year. Target passing, if you do not master target passing, you are in trouble because you are going to be throwing interceptions. If you're one of those guys that like to throw in double and triple coverage, you are in trouble because you are going to get picked off. Like the last guy I played literally threw 6 interceptions because he kept trying to throw it in double and triple coverage. And because he kept trying to test my user, he literally threw 6 picks. The only time they dropped a pick was because one hit the ground before the safety could get to it, and the other one was just a bum player that literally I have no idea who he even was. So I didn't expect him to do much. So again, he dropped a pick because I think he had like low hands or something like that, or low catching or something like that. So that was the only time he dropped realistically, like drop picks happen, but like I said, my opponent threw 6 picks. Like 4 of them were because the computer jumped on it, and they called it off tip. I think tip balls, and 2 of them were because of me. Yeah, I think it's gonna be hard to master. I think so. Or if it's not hard, you're gonna have to put some time. I think labbing is gonna be very crucial. I think labbing is going to be like you're going to have to get in the lab for sure. I don't think regs. I don't know. I don't think regs might be the move. I think MUT is going to be the move. The way Madden seems to be going, I think MUT is going to be more of the move. Like I think probably emphasis more on like salary cap. Did the Falcons team feel better than any other teams? The Minnesota, they had the Vikings play. They were tough, man. That run defense is even. When my opponent wasn't calling necessarily the best run-stopping plays, yeah, the Vikings are tough, man. I think Taylor Gabriel dropped the ball, but again, that's Taylor Gabriel. I'm not expecting him to be perfect. But he dropped I think he was on like a C route, and I threw it to him right before he hit his break to the outside, and he dropped a wide open one. But again, I'm not mad at that because it's Taylor Gabriel. I didn't see what the last one said. But other than that, like when I threw the ball to Julio, he caught it every time. And wide receiver screens. If your opponent does not have the personnel to stop a wide receiver screen, he's done so. I threw one to Julio out of, what was it, Y trips? Gun Y trips week. Julio was on the right side. My opponent decided to call, I think he called like nickel, I don't know if it was nickel normal 2-4-5. Yeah, all line makes a difference. Back shoulder passing you can do. You just got to master how to target that. It's possible. But anyways, going back to my wide receiver screen point. So check this out, right? I'm in wide trips where you have one receiver to the left, three to the right, or excuse me, two wide receivers to the right and a tight end. My opponent came out. I want to say he came out on like 2-4-5 nickel, but he had basically two wide receivers. Actually, no. It was trio. So three wide receivers on to the right side because I flipped it. Three wide receivers to the right, and he had like two defenders over there. Toss the wide receiver screen. Boom. Wide receiver is blocked upfield because you got to give it a second. You can't just throw it immediately. You had to like give it a second and then throw. Blocked up. Julio Rack caught it. Did some like stick moves and stuff like that. Touchdown. Boom. Like wide receiver screens might be that move, yo. It might be that move, yo. I'm telling you, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. But here's the meta. Here's what I think, because a lot of people, I don't think nobody really knows. I think a couple of people have an idea with the meta, and that's because they played the game a lot longer than I have. But those formations that don't get used in 17, so for instance, like bunch wide, the double stack that is kind of like seems a little bit goofy this year, gun spread, wide trips, like any trips or trios that you see, even maybe out of single back. I haven't really tested that part out, but anything that really spreads the defenses out that they have to actually go out there and defend, those are going to be hell. I think those are going to be severely. I don't think the move really the move is like the gun bunches, the tight slots, the deuce closes. I don't think that's going to be nearly the move. Yeah, no problem. I think, like I said, I really strongly believe like the bunch wides, like they really like the odd formations that y'all don't really use too much in Madden 17 because they get screamed at by nickel blitz and stuff like that. Y'all might want to start practicing those. I think the Falcons have them in their book right now. I think the Eagles, a couple other playbooks have like the bunch wides and stuff like that. Oh yeah, lab time. And then to your wide receiver screen point, again, if they don't have the defenders to stop it or in that general area, that thing is going to work if you give it time. So, again, like I said, give it like when you snap the ball, like look for a second and then throw. Like wait till the wide receivers actually engage like in a block and then throw it. And if your opponent doesn't have the personnel or the defenders in that area, again, like say for instance they were trying to send nickel blitz in that corner, that slot corner blitzes, and you do a wide receiver screen, that's gone. That's gone. And again, like I said before, no warp tackling, no defensive ends coming up and trying to tackle Julio Jones like 95 yards on. He's gone. Gone. 5 G's. He's gone. So, I'm trying to think what other formations might be the move. Depending, I don't want to say that. The tight pairs and stuff like that might be the move when it comes to running. And again, if your opponent decides to come out and like dollar or something like that, that's getting obliterated. Yeah, I think so. Positioning and the angles that you take to tackle are going to matter a lot more. Hey, no problem, man. Like I said, I'm just giving y'all the facts. Y'all seen this notebook that I have. Look, hold on. Let's bring it up again. I know it's flipped, but my questions for Rex. I played the game. Like I said, I didn't get nearly as much time as I like to have. But I think I kind of got a good idea of how Madden 18 is going to be. From the games I have played and seen, I have a good idea of how it's going to be. So I'm very excited. Again, I wish it wasn't like 2 months away. How much playtime did I get total? I got about like 2 good games in. I would say about 2 good games in, and then like the rest of the time was kind of like observing and seeing with the game, and like I said, and talking to folks and stuff like that. Like I talked to True Boy, talked to Zan, talked to Madster, Scorpion, a couple of the cats there, W a little bit. I didn't get to play team play. I wanted to, but at the same, I wanted more individual one-on-one. So to that point, competitive team play. I was talking to Gibbs and Patrick Belanca about it, and I asked him, I was like, even Gibbs, I was like, hey Gibbs, like, what you think about Madden 18? Like, what's the most thing you're excited about? He was raving about MUT squads, and he even said himself, he said that could be something competitive. Like he can see that being like a competitive thing. So, and Patrick Belanca said he sees it as well. And what he said was that if the community, like say for instance, we're doing our MUT squads thing, right? If the community, if there's a resounding, we want this to be competitive, and y'all show it and stuff like that, they're gonna try to work some type of magic to make them like an actual competitive mode and stuff like that. And he says, like, Matt Marcoux, the commissioner, he knows it. He knows it. And Patrick, like I said, the developers tell him, and that's what the community wanted. So all we had to do is literally, if the game comes out the way we think it's going to come out, and it plays well and stuff like that, and y'all really want the MUT squads and stuff like that to be a competitive mode, they can make it happen. From what I have seen about MUT squads, though, what I have like noticed while waiting in line and stuff like that, it actually looks a lot of fun. Actually, it looks like a lot, and the people that played it, you could definitely tell there's like a lot of emotion, a lot of excitement, a lot of noise coming out from that area and stuff like that. So I think it's gonna be legit. I think it's if you got like a good 3 solid players, one that can play some offense and can quarterback, one that's good in defense, and one that literally can just say, hey, I brought the uniforms and the playbooks, let's do this. I think y'all can make some serious noise, man. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. That's like I said, that's mainly all the things I got from EA Play, man. Like, I think Madden 18 is gonna be good. It definitely has that. It's a different game. It's a different game. Like I said, like a lot of the stuff that in 17 would frustrate you, I don't think 18 should be nearly as frustrating. Again, this is so far. I haven't hit launch. This isn't final build. This is still an alpha and all that stuff. I don't know. Because to be honest, but that depends on what your opponent does on offense. You know, everybody plays differently. So if your opponent wants to keep passing them 95% of the time, and he's having a hard time moving against your defense, I'll stick to that defensive formation. But I will say this about Madden 18 from what I've like played, talked to, and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like, at least competitive wise, like when you're playing on the competitive settings, again, online, head to head, you know, all that stuff. It seems like it's not going to be it doesn't seem like it's going to be on the, dang, EA screwed me over. Dang, Madden, like, that guy got so much flu. You know, if it seems more like it's more on you, like you, the user. Like, and I even asked this about Clint. If you're in the MUT, go ahead and pre-order the expensive thing, but that's if you're really interested in that stuff. But I was talking to Clint about this, and I was like, we were talking about like ID in the mic and, you know, pass protection and run blocking and stuff like that. And I made a point to him and say, hey, the way y'all going, it depends on the defense that comes out. I said, hey, the way this is going, the way y'all making it sounds like a lot of things are going to be on the user. Like, dang, this is my fault. Oh, dang, you know, I didn't call the right plays. Oh, dang, I didn't ID the mic properly, so I'm getting screamed at. Oh, dang, I didn't call, you know, the right person. I called dollar against like a strong guy type pair. Like, it seems like it's more on the user. It's like, it's more like this is my fault, not so much of, dang, I just got ripped off. Damn, EA, like, y'all screwing me over. Y'all getting screwed. You know, it seems like it's going to be more user. A-Dub keeps joining. Like, I don't know if he's having connection issues, but shout out to A-Dub. It seems like it's more about the user. Like I said, double or triple coverage, that's getting picked off. You can't. There's no more, oh, I dropped a pick and stuff like that. When it comes out on EA Access, what do I recommend doing first? I don't know about previous play because, like I said, there were 2 users on the screen at the same time, so I don't know. I hope not, but I'm going to try to ask tomorrow if I get some time. The first thing, honestly, this is the way I do it every year. But I would strongly looking at the playbooks, looking at every single one of the playbooks and seeing what you want to run. I think you can do a lot more on offense this year. Yeah, Matt Ryan was throwing some dots. Sam Bradford, when my opponent with the Vikings, I don't know if it was just on him or like Sam Bradford didn't have the accuracy to match, but Sam Bradford was throwing some Stevies. He was throwing some Stevies, yo. Like I said, he ended up with 6 interceptions. The one pass Sam Bradford did make, and it was beautiful because I think I played it wrong, and I was in the cover 2, and I forgot who called the pass. But he had threw us like a sideline pass, and he threw it beautifully too. And I remember because I had clicked onto my safety, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to line him up, and the moment the receiver called it, I wanted just to hit him just like boom, and I completely whiffed on him, like ended up like running straight past him and like diving out of bounds, and he ended up getting a touchdown too, which brings up another point too. If you're not careful with hit sticks, you're in trouble. It's not the same as you're going to get a hit stick and it kind of like magnetically warps you to the ball carrier and you're able to lay the hit on them. Like, if you don't line it up properly, even if you're like off by like a little bit and your opponent has like enough stick skill to move this way, like you're done. Like, he's gone. I use both, Coleman and Freeman. Coleman felt a little bit heavier. He felt a little bit slower and less agile than Freeman. Freeman felt like I could do anything. And me personally, I'm more of a speed back guy. I'm more of a speed back guy than a power back guy. So Freeman was getting loose. Pass rush, I thought it was pretty solid. If you don't have the O line, you're done. Trucking or elusive backs, it depends. Depends on your style. Me personally, like I said, I'm more of an elusive back guy, and left stick running, that's kind of my deal. So I personally say elusive backs are definitely back this year. Yeah, the Jets are in trouble. They're screwed. There's a couple new routes. I forgot which formations off the top of my head, but there are new routes in the game. How you defend it, that's totally up to you. That's totally up to you. Another book that people were saying was really good too was somebody was saying like the Jets book was really, really good this year. I forgot what the reason it was behind it. I forgot what formation he was talking about, but he said the Jets book was really, really good this year. Because, like I said, I think I heard New Orleans, Cincy, Jets, New Orleans, Cincy, Jets, Green Bay, and I think Cleveland were like the favorites among folks at EA Play so far. Try to adjust. Oh shoot, that thing's falling. My bad. I'm gonna try to adjust tomorrow. Buffalo. Yeah, I heard about Buffalo. I heard a couple things about Buffalo. So, like I said, unfortunately, I don't get enough time to sit there and like go through playbooks like one by one like I would love to. If I could, I would. I think this thing's falling again. Hold on. If I could, I would. What else, Brian? What's going on, man? It feels different. That's a whole different game. I'm gonna try to go. If I can get in on time, if I can get in and have enough time, because I probably imagine we'll probably have like it depends. If I get like enough time to wait in line, stuff like that, then sure. If not, then I gotta just kind of chalk it up to just 2 days of Madden. Yeah, I know. What's up, Hefe? What's going on, man? What's going on? Yeah, because the only thing I didn't like about EA Play was that it takes a long time to get into the event itself, and then on top of that, you had to wait a long time to play Madden. And Madden had like the longest line out of all the games besides Star Wars Battlefront. Madden had like the longest line. Oh, camera's like blurry. Hold on. I don't know why my camera. Ball placement feature, that's the target passing. You're going to have to master that and put it in the lab time for that. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me flip again. Okay, there we go. A lot better. You gotta master that. You gotta put in some lab time on that because, like I said, if you're not careful and you pass lead, you're done. If you're talking about like high point passing and stuff like that, that's a little bit, that's a bit of a risk this year. It's not like it's not clean like it is in 17. Which, like I said, me personally, I don't like high point passing in 17. I hate it. I hate it, or at least I hate how effective it is. But it's a lot more risky this year. A lot more risky. And again, mind you, again, like I said, if the ball gets tipped up in the air and stuff like that, most of the time, I'm not gonna say all the time, but most of the time, the defense is picking that off. And again, that comes down to like ratings of like catching trash, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. So it's basically ratings dependent and your user input. So for instance, like a Blake Bortles is going to like Blake Bortles is going to be pretty bad, and you'll notice. Like even if you, I mean, like I said, he'll make the throws that he's supposed to make, but stuff that's out of his range, like the deep ball accuracy and stuff like that. Oh yeah, he's sailing that bad boy out of bounds, or like to the cheerleaders, or to maybe even the defense. So you gotta be like extra careful. Like I said, that's stuff you gotta master and learn. In my mind, that's gonna probably take about, if you're really on your game, probably about maybe 3 days of straight up lab time. Yeah, Hackenberg screwed. I don't know. This thing keeps falling. It's getting on my nerves now. Physics and fumbles. Like I said, I think there was like a couple of fumbles that happened. One, I think Freeman coughed it up, and another one Cam had coughed it up because my opponent really wanted to scramble with Cam Newton, which again, I think it's a little bit better to scramble this year. The fumble, like I said, it didn't take that long to get a fumble. I think it's not as bad as 17 and 16 feel. My only concern with fumbles is that, and this thing, whatever, I'm gonna have to just pay attention to this thing. The only thing I'm concerned with me, that's concerning with me with fumbles is that I noticed the trend that I've noticed is that it seems fine in the beginning, and then when patches and title updates come in, fumble recovery systems get a little bit worse. Yes, I'm more realistic. I missed whoever typed above that question. I missed it. It disappeared on me. I'm sorry. But fumbles definitely seem a lot easier to recover than years past so far. I will say that. Like I said, that's all I have. So any last minute questions or anything that y'all absolutely want to know? Kick returns are a little bit easier because warp tackles aren't a thing. So I think it's easier. So any last minute questions? Anything y'all want to know? Hey, no problem, full line. I'm glad I was able to give y'all the information. Hope y'all been taking notes. If not, I don't know if this thing like records it as a video and like y'all can look at it again and stuff like that. If so, like I said, take notes, take some notebooks down, stuff like that. There's other people I think that are answering questions too. I think a lot of the game changers are answering questions. I think a lot of the competitive players are answering questions too. Yeah, shout out to A-Dub, man. I know he's coming in and out of the Periscope and live stream, but definitely shout out to A-Dub for doing his thing this year. And like I said, this isn't the final build, so I'm pretty sure he's still got a bit of work to do before launch, but he's done a fantastic job so far at Playbooks for sure. Did I try blowing up the blocker when I was on defense? There's a way to do it this year. No problem, B-Pack. I forgot what Rex said, but there's so the hit stick, the way it's set up this year, you can either hit high, medium, or low. So you can blow up the blockers if you hit them low. But I forgot off the top of my head. Oops. I forgot off the top of my head like how effective it is because I didn't try it. I know people were trying it in team play, but I didn't try it. I didn't really try. I tried to just, like I said, just scrape over and make the play and tackles and stuff like that. To me, honestly, I think the conservative tackles are going to be the way to go. I don't think you want to hit stick nearly as much unless you're really good at lining up your defender with him. Hey, no problem, Chris. No problem. It's 16. No problem. Favorite new feature? Oh yeah, somebody asked that. Good question, Blood. I would say my favorite new feature is probably going to be the target passing. No, I didn't see that. I don't think tip balls do the way across the field. I don't think so. I say the target pass is probably gonna be my new favorite feature this year, and I think it's because that people are going to have to definitely put in some time for it to master it completely. Again, like I said before, if you one of the conversations I had was if you master the target passing and you master the playmaker, I think you're going to be the most absolute dangerous player if you're a pass heavy player. You're throwing yes and yes. I think you want to throw it to where your wide receiver can get it. So yes, I guess you can say throw it to a spot, but you got to be careful. It's BP to get another way to throw a dot. Yeah. It's even for me. Like I said, I'm not a pass happy player, but how's target passing different from the passing cone? I think because it's a little bit more controlled. Like I think with the cone, as long as you throw it in the general area, it's going to be good. With target passing, not only do you have to throw it in the right area, but you can't pass it too far or too little. And you have to throw it in a position where your wide receiver can get it and make a play on it. So, again, you can throw back shoulder fades, inside pass leaves, throw it down to below the knees and stuff like that. I think it's a lot different than the cone. I think the cone, you just throw it in a different area or throw it into the area that the quarterback can see, and it's usually a good pass. Yeah, it's a big visual, the target, and especially on defense too. Julio. Yeah, I think if your wide receiver has the ratings like the elite wide receivers like Julio, Dez, Antonio Brown, you're gonna notice they're gonna make a lot more plays consistently than say a Darius Hayward-Bay or like a Taylor Gabriel, stuff like that. Like they'll make play like the Taylor Gabriels and the DHBs. They'll make plays when they need to. Again, if you got a surefire thing in Julio, you probably want to feed Julio for sure. So, any last minute questions before I sign out? I'm starving right now and haven't eaten anything since EA Play. I think during the afternoon. Route running, yeah. I think route running is going to be extremely important for sure. For sure. I don't think it's right where I would like it to be, where it's like I said, tiered and stuff like that. Like I said, for instance, Antonio Brown running a routes versus a DHB. I think they still need to work on that. But I think honestly, I think it still matters. Yeah, I'll try shading tomorrow. I'll try it. I'll write it down so that way I can remember stuff like that. Like I said, any last questions before I sign off? Thank y'all all for stopping by. Follow me on Twitter if y'all haven't done so, man. I'm glad I could provide information. If I do get a chance to go to EA Play and play some Madden tomorrow, then I'll relay any information that I have. But if I don't, then I'll try to retweet and stuff like that as much factual information as possible. And like I said, it's a different game. I think if it goes right the way I hope it does, we'll like this game a lot. I think the competitive players, especially like I said, guys like myself that are very competitive, I think we're going to like this game a lot more than we have in years past because, again, we're not playing on the simulation sliders like we have been this year, 16, 15, 25, stuff like that. I think with the competitive settings in place, there should be a skill gap, which is weird to say right now, but there should be a skill gap this year. And like I said, the best players will master the mechanics. The not so good players, they might be in trouble. So, all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. If y'all have any other questions, hit me up on Twitter. I'll try to answer as best as possible throughout the night. And again, if I get a chance to go inside EA Play and play some Madden or ask questions, then I definitely will. If I don't get to, again, I'm just going to retweet everything that is definitely true about the game. So, I'll see y'all later, man. 5Gs, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.